Hello and welcome to another tutorial on KiMoPack. Today we're going to talk about how to import files and how to load files from very different types. In principle, there are three different ways how you can get files into KiMoPack. The first is by using the general importing functions from KiMoPack itself. The second one is by providing an external file which is pre-shaped, or an external matrix which is pre-shaped. And the third one is by using conversion functions. In the very beginning, the standard tool, if possible, is using the built-in functions, and often for many users it's most comfortable to use the GUI, which opens up a file where you can then click to your file format, select your file, and simply open it up. If you want to reuse the same file you just opened, the recent command achieves that, and you can open this file again and again, opening the same data type. Alternatively, you can provide a path to your file, potentially with a path variable. In my case, the data is in the subfolder data subfolder from our current working folder. Paths, as always, can be either a single word, then it is relative to the path where I start, or can be given as a complete path, which is then opened. There's in KiMoPack, there is a very large number of options how to shape. So what type of file formats, for example, what are the separators, what are the decimal points, if you want to convert the energy, if you want to transpose, if you maybe want to divide the times, measuring between picoseconds, nanoseconds, femtoseconds or something, shift times, or use external files. If those options are not sufficient to convert your file, you can always import the file using an external command. For example, using the pandas read CSV in this case. Pandas itself has a large number of options, even more than we can provide. CSV, for example, and there are many different versions how to find a way how to confirm or transform your data. At the end, it needs to be in a way that you have the data in columns and rows. For example, if you read in a file format now and would look on this DS which we have just imported, then this would be in a not perfect way. It would not be perfectly separated. Finding out what options you need often is the easiest is to simply look on the raw data. Now in this case here the data is separated by tabs, and you have always the first value in each new row is the time. So I would like to read in the data, use the separator tab, use as an index column for the time, index column 0. If I do that, then my file looks nicely shaped. This is the external DS. And now I can take this DS and give it into KiMoPack. So in the TA, which is the initializer, DS equals DS, using the keyword external, or any file name actually, as long as you provide in DS, it will be recognized. And now you have a classical KiMoPack function, and you can do a lot of things. For example, you find your file again. As part of the import, you can give names. You can give, for example, the units as one of the options, and tell it, for example, what are the units on one of the axes. If you provide an external file, the columns and row names will be automatically read and used if you don't provide it externally. Lastly, as this kind of coding might be too much for many people, or for many people who are not used to coding, we have developed a new API, you might call that, which is a way how to convert files. For that, there is a keyword called conversion function, which needs to be a function provided to the import, which is converting the file it's getting. Again, you can give using a GUI, or you can use the file name to provide a path to the file. And then you need to have a conversion function for your specific file type. As part of KiMoPack, we're providing an import library. Right now there's only 2 files in there, but I'm happy to help you develop your own function for that. Here, for example, we read in street camera data and do quite a lot of different shaping. At the end, returning a DS dataset, which we can import into KiMoPack and use to do all the fitting, plotting, and all the things we want. Developing these kind of functions might be too much, but I'm happy to help if you contact me. Now, usage of that is straightforward. Sorry for that. It's straightforward. You give the conversion function, you import the conversion function from, in our case, the import library. We select the name, which function to use from there, and provide this to the import, and we're done. All of these options are also available in, for example, the summary scans or in the opening multiple data type. So there's open GUI. The summary scans has a few additional options which you might want to use. For example, if you simply provide a path to the scans, here I just gave a direct path, a full path, then it will open all files in this path which correspond to a certain shape. A standard shape would be the file ending CR. You can provide additional information about us. For example, this could be read at the path, open all files with the file ending CR, which has as part of their file name scan. This is useful if you, for example, keep other files in the same folder. We provide for all of that workflow tools, which describe all of the options or some of the options, but also help, for example, to find different things. Recently developed, you can download those workflow tools by running the function pf.downloadNotebooks, which creates a workflow tool and then downloads the notebooks plus the function library plus the import library. Import library, again, this is where I keep at least our useful tools, for example, of reading street camera data. I hope you had some fun and some use, and as always, have a nice day.